Hello, everybody. It is so good to see all of your digital non-existent faces in the chat. Welcome to episode 2 of volume 1 of Andake Anthologies, The Hounds of Mercy versus Mercy 7 Evil Exes and all of Andake. What a mouthful. Welcome. I am your GM, and for now, I am your total executive producer for this particular stream. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me on Twitter, Patreon, itch at by Connie Chong. That's BYCONNIECHANG. And before I get too much ahead of myself, I'm going to pass along introductions to our lovely Dare, directly underneath me.
I'm never ready for this. Hi, I'm Dare. You can find me on most things at Twitter and TikTok at NBDare. That is ENBYDARE. I just do a lot of weird stuff on the internet, such as writing books and helping make books. I did one. It's coming up. It's out today, actually, on DM's Guild. It is a sort of companion piece to the Witch Beyond Wild Light, or the Wild Beyond Witch Light. I do that every time. It has a lot of amazing creators. I helped edit and write on that, so please check that out. I'll be dropping a link in the chat in just a second.
Fantastic. Now let's pass along introductions to Hamana.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hamana. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. You can find me on Twitter at hshahid_, where I talk about all of the different projects that I'm a part of. So I am here on Tuesdays, but on Monday afternoons, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I am on the Follow Black Cats channel, where we are playing Cursed Captains of Cthulhu. And I may or may not now have a really hot, Eldritch Pirate girlfriend on that stream, so you should definitely come watch.
Fantastic. And now let's go to Quinn.
Hi, hello, I'm Quinn. I use they, she pronouns. Yeah, that's me. That's my name. At Quintastic_ on Twitter and other places, probably. I make games, and I am in games, and I sensitivity read for games and other things. And, I'm gay. Great, you've said that on the internet. Cool. That's me. Back to you, Connie.
Great, thanks. Well, look at these amazing people with all these awesome projects and this gayness that abounds. Suffuses this Discord call. So if you don't know what this is, if you're tuning in for the first time, thank you for tuning in for the first time. You've dropped into the Hounds of Mercy versus Andake, which is volume 1 of Andake Anthologies, which is a brand new slate of miniseries of side campaigns running alongside parallel to our main D&D campaign. But these anthologies are going to feature all trans, all BIMPOC, all QTPOC casts. So thank you so much for tuning in and supporting diverse voices and diverse performers and actors in tabletop roleplay games. We appreciate your presence here. So, what is the premise of the Hounds of Mercy? Basically, this mini-series follows everyone's favorite gay monster hunting group traveling across Andake in the wake of the Cataclysm, which is an apocalyptic event to bust some baddies, including their fearless leaders, terrible exes, of which there are 7. This is a 8-part limited mini-series. This is the 2nd episode, and we air every Tuesday at 7 p.m. US Central Time right here. So mark your calendars for the next 6 Tuesdays. We do have a donation goal for this stream. For our overall miniseries, we have a donation goal of $200. At $25, $50, $75, and $100, a random PC is going to get an additional point of personal inspiration on top of the one they can have from moi. At $125, our table will unlock the elusive, the beautiful, the pink auto crit die, courtesy of Roll20, who sponsors us. And at $200, the great grand prize, we get a massive lore drop from myself, the GM, about the Andake universe, about the miniseries, and potentially about our main campaign as well. Donate by using !donate in chat. We're currently at $40. Our next goal is only $10 away. So if you could spare $10 to get us to 50, someone else is going to get an extra point of inspiration, and it's either going to be Jiran or Gentle. And you can also toss us a sub. We are divesting from Twitch subs for the most part because Twitch sucks, and we only get 50% of subs. But if you still sub, we are very appreciative of that. And subs will get access to exclusive character journals in our Discord, as well as access to sub and patron-only gaming nights on the last Wednesday of every month. Which brings me to our main campaign. Arc 4, Episode 3 is going to air next Saturday, October 2nd at 3 p.m. CST. Not this coming Saturday. We're taking a break from our main campaign to focus completely on the Hound, so let's do that. If you're like, what the hell's going on in your main campaign, go to bit.ly/trans recap. The T and the R are capitalized in trans recap for a written recap of everything that's going on in our main campaign, and listen to podcast episodes that drop every Tuesday, wherever you pod your cast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, etc. If you can catch up better that way in an audio format. And again, we also have past streams uploaded to our YouTube at Transplanar RPG, and you can support our stream by pledging to our Patreon for as low as $3 a month at patreon.com/transplanarrpg. And with that, let's get into the Hounds of Mercy versus Andake with a quick recap of what happened last session if you missed the premiere. So, the Hounds of Mercy, everyone's favorite monster hunting group, suffer through the Cataclysm, which is an apocalyptic event in which the gods disappear, the stars vanish, and quote-unquote empty monsters spawn and attack. The Hounds reconvene after this apocalypse and discover that Oka, one of their own, a friend, and the leader's right hand, has left their group without so much as a courtesy goodbye. What's even worse, Mercy, their leader, refuses to answer their questions about where Oka has gone and puts them on their next quest instead, which is, of course, to rescue Unmei, an angel of Sen, the god of change and nature, from being killed by one of these new quote-unquote empty monsters. And they learn, after successfully rescuing Unmei, that a shattered echo of Sen, this god, remains in the now. The gods are not completely gone, but there's something terribly, awfully wrong. This shard of Sen cries out for its paragon. You can use !recap in the chat at any point to get this recap again. And now let's move on to content warnings before hopping into our session. Transplanar RPG is set in a gritty, grim, dark fantasy world. We explore content matter that might be potentially triggering for some viewers, so use !CW in chat at any point to get a list of these warnings. Warnings for this miniseries includes fantasy violence, monsters and body horror, blood and bloodletting, addiction and substance use, romance and flirting acted out on screen, references to romantic and sexual entanglements, toxic relationships, shitty people, environmental disasters, refugees and displacement, and apocalyptic events. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. The north shore of Umaori Lake is a vast expanse of waves rolling over sand, ducks floating in the water, and the hanging temple of Unmei, standing tall and proud atop the glistening surface as the hounds say goodbye to Athena. Athena, the mercenary that Mercy brought in to replace Oka, has found a place among the monks for now. She wishes to watch over the temple to learn more about this mysterious O2 Delta 97 that the spirit of the lake mentioned to her. And now we see Athena, head monk Fumin, and shrine maiden Seinaru standing at the archway of the temple, waving goodbye to the four of you, their bodies backlit by the rising light of morning. Sitlali, Gentle, Jiran. Led by Mercy, the three of you turn your backs and you travel. You travel in search of the Paragon of Sen, a divinely appointed champion of the gods from Andake's mythic past. The Paragons of the Eight are children's stories, fables of courage and destiny that elders tell to pass the time while they're weaving. At least, that's what you thought. Until Unmei revealed that the vanishing didn't take Sen. Not completely. A shattered echo of the god of change and nature remains trapped in the material plane, the now, and it yearns to be united with its paragon. Aided by a vial of Unmei's magical water, Mercy leads your party toward them. You hope. Mercy actually performs the ritual to track Sen's paragon for the first time under the shade of a barren oak, huddled against the cold. She unscrews the vial and pours a droplet, just a tiny thumb's worth, onto a dead leaf. And you all watch as this water hits the surface and then animates, pooling toward the west in one swift movement in the direction of the Euclid Chasm. And so you travel. You trudge for a week through the snow-struck trees of Fumasoki wood, where crystals of ice rime atop the splintered branches of evergreen trees. You find icy caves and thick copses of trees to make camp. You pull your furs and leathers closer to your body in the dead of winter, your breath fogging the crisp night air in thick plumes. You defend yourself against monsters lurking in the snowy wood. Some you recognize, others you don't. And whenever you fight an empty monster, you're careful to harvest its corpse for soul bags. So I'm going to ask actually right now for the first roll of the session, each of you to make a survival check to see how many souls you're able to collect, how many soul bags for the duration of this travel period. So go ahead.
The dice are choosing violence against me again. I got a 9.
A 9. How about the rest of you?
24.
24 from Sitlali. Gentle.
That's the mute button. 19.
19, that's pretty good. And I'm just going to cut in here and say that someone anonymously donated $50. So that brings our tally up to 90, which means Jaron and Gentle, you both get a point of inspiration. Just have it on the board automatically. Our next goal is 100, which will give, I think, me inspiration as the GM to do whatever I want with it and give myself advantage or disadvantage on a roll. Okay, so with the rolls you've made, Jaron, I think you're able to... I think the rolls are how many souls you harvest. Jaron, you're able to save 9. Gentle, you save 19. Sitlali, you save, was it 24? Okay. Yeah. You fight these monsters, you harvest these soul bags, you carry these souls with you, careful not to let them escape through the cinched neck of each sack. Okay. On the 4th night of travel, I think we find Mercy, your rugged half-orc leader with a single eye patch over her eye. We find her hunched over a campfire. Your tents are erected in the shade of a hollowed-out snowbank. The black, seamless night pours darkness over Mercy's shoulders as she uses a knife to fashion javelins out of foraged branches. The hour is late, the camp is cold. Jaron and Gentle, tell me, who's already sitting with Mercy by the fire, and who approaches later?
I'd be the one sitting just because feels like just keeping Bud warm.
Okay. Bud, which is, of course, your little wolf pup. So yeah, Gentle, as we settle over you, why don't you just re-describe really quickly what you look like and what you're wearing, what you're doing?
I am a Triton, so, the blue skin, green hair. I'm not wearing my mask, but I tend to have a slightly cracked, smiling mask. I'm not wearing it now because I am among people I trust and feel safe with. And I'm just taking care of a little wolf pup named Bud, who managed to survive everything alongside, me and Jaron and everyone. So I'm just taking care of it, being sort of a adoptive pup parent.
Nice. I love it. I think, what are you doing with the pup as the pup's, next to you?
Probably teaching it just, little tricks. Probably just, playing with it.
Okay, roll animal handling.
Oh, it feels like I should be good at this. All right, I'm not terrible at this. Let's not disappoint the baby. Hey, dirty 20.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, you've taught it 2 tricks. What are the 2 things it can do?
Jump and a little hop dance thing. Just excited.
That's really advanced. It doesn't know how to sit. It doesn't know how to stay,
Nope.
but it knows how to jump and dance.
Nope. It knows how to jump and dance. That feels right.
I love
You're
it.
gonna teach
I
it to
love
run
it.
before it can walk.
I'm into it. Yeah, maybe you're holding a little bit of dried jerky or something above its head as it's jumping and doing a little hind a dance, Bud.
Yes.
And it's big eyes are fixed on this piece of jerky. And that's when Mercy sat across the fire from you says, that's not a very useful trick to teach something that could be a fearsome predator one day.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, Bud's a baby still. You can have fun.
When I was a baby, I knew how to kill something before I said my first word.
Is that true?
I don't know. Is it, Gentle?
This Gentle's gonna try insight. Gentle's not. Well, Gentle's good at this, but
Okay, to specifically see if she's
Oh.
telling the truth.
yes. See if this is a joke story. That was another dirty 20.
She does not seem to be lying. She does not. You're not sure if this is a tall tale, or like the actual truth, but there's no like direct lie here. As Mercy looks at you with her one good eye, the other one shielded by her leather eye patch.
I'm sorry that happened to you. I don't.
No, don't be sorry. It made me who I am. A badass motherfucker.
Oh, well, I don't think Bud needs to worry about that yet. I'm kind of gonna help guide Bud at my own pace.
Well, they are very cute. I'll give you that. I had my pets growing up too. Little rust monster by the name of Rusty. God, I miss that thing. First monster I ever befriended.
How many monsters have you befriended? Actually, that sounds interesting.
More than you've ever killed, I'll tell you that. And
I
she like
barely killed any.
I know, which is why it's not a difficult boast. And she continues to, I think, like sharpen that javelin, right? Like wood shavings going onto the ground. But Gentle, I think as like a quiet settles over this camp. Duran, that's when you enter the scene. Tell me what you look like and how you like step into the flames, the light shed by the flames.
Yeah, so Jaran is a green dragonborn, so their sort of dark brown skin fades into these green scales. They have the horns above their head, and there's like icy in color threads that connect all of the different parts of their horns. And I think the way that Jaran enters the scene is very like quick and purposeful. Like he walks in, he's got a point to why he's coming, and he's like clearly like worked up or like in a rush of some kind. And he comes up and he just kind of like nods at Gentle to acknowledge that Gentle is here, and then looks at Mercy and just says, Mercy, we need to talk.
Oh, slow your roll there, Duran. Here, found the stick that was up your ass. And she holds up one of the javelins she's sharpening.
Mercy,
What?
where are we going?
West.
I know that we need to find this paragon, and we should do that, of course. But at the same time, I think we should be looking for Oka.
This again, listen, we've got one mission. Find the paragon of Sen and bring them to Unmei. That's it. What is it, Gentle?
I don't think Duran's wrong to address this. Mercy, I know it seems to be more of your style, but you like to keep things very close to the chest, so to speak.
Yes, thank you, Gentle. There is a lot you are not telling us, Mercy, and I just think that it would be useful if we could maybe talk to some people on our travels, ask them if they've seen someone who looks like Oka or sounds like Oka. They are pretty distinctive. I think if we just did that and we get a lead on where they might be, then it would be useful to us. That's all.
If you want to waste your time asking people about where Oka might have gone, be my guest, but we're not going to slow down for you.
What if we all slow down?
Mercy turns her gaze to you, Gentle, and says, Not happening, Gentle. We have to find this paragon, okay? That's our mission. We're not slowing down.
I think it's important to also take care of our friends along the way. I mean, since everything's happened, we've lost 3 hounds. I'm just saying, maybe we should also make sure of the ones we have here and address our needs too. It's not important to look for Oka as well.
Exactly. We've lost 3 hounds. They're gone. They're not coming back. Move on.
I think throughout this process, like Mercy's probably still been continuing to like sharpen the javelins
Yes.
as she's speaking. And so Jiran at this kind of just like grabs the one out of her hand and just like holds it back and says, "You've lost 3 and you don't even care? What about us? What if we leave you?"
Who else is gonna put food in your stomach and pay you? Feel free to leave. Be my fucking guest. But move on. Oka's gone. They're not coming back. They've left us. Period. End of sentence. End of fucking story. What, Gentle?
Jiran and I are hunters by nature. This isn't... I don't want to be literal, but this would be pretty easy for us to survive without you.
Then
I'm
leave.
sorry.
I don't give a shit.
I don't want to.
Get
You're
out
my
of here.
friend. You're my friend. I don't... We are friends here. We're not saying we want to leave. We just want to also make sure that our friends are taken care of.
What part of Oka is gone and they're not coming back is not getting through to the two of you? That's the reality of the situation. At least the gods are still kind of here, but Oka's gone and that's by choice.
I think in this moment, Jiran just takes the javelin that's in their hands and like throws it like really aggressively at Mercy's feet and says, "Oka was your right hand, supposedly because you cared about them. So what? What about that?"
You know nothing of my relationship with Oka. And I would think again. And she stands up, right? Like this shadow like falling over the campfire, right? As she like blots out some of the light and like approaches you. And she like rips the javelin out of the ground where you stabbed it down into. Before you make speculations about my decisions.
I stand up. We don't need to fight, please.
Tell that to Mercy. And
I'm
Jiran
going
is
to
just
bed.
like not looking at Gentle when they say that.
You, Gentle, take next watch. I'm done here. And Mercy,
Yeah.
gathers up like the javelins.
So
Yep.
tense.
She turns and starts to leave, but while she's at like the periphery of like the light cast by the campfire, she turns and sort of says over her back, I think she's like holding the javelins under one arm. Like I said, we have one mission and one mission only. Find that goddamn paragon. Because if we find them, then we have the answer to the Cataclysm, the answer to every single problem in our fucking miserable lives right now. So if you want to find Oka, if you care about Oka, you'll focus on this mission. And she turns and gruffly leaves. And I think like quiet, really awkward, like tense quiet maybe settles over the campfire. Drawn, Gentle, do the two of you address each other?
I think Jiran just kind of in a huff, like sits down on the log, supposedly that Mercy was sitting on, like probably in exactly the spot that she was sitting, and just kind of like head in their hands is just like really angrily like muttering to themselves.
Hey, Tron.
Yeah.
Do you want some tea? And if not, Bud can show you a cool trick that I've been teaching him that might help you cheer up a little.
Yeah, sure. What's this trick that you've been teaching Bud?
Can I just show the little dance again?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
cute, yes. I love that.
I think seeing the dance like actually does make Jiran feel a little bit better. Not like a ton, but I think it does help a little bit. And they kind of like gesture over for a piece of jerky to try and do it themselves.
I'll give you one, no question.
Yeah, and I think Jiran tries to like make Bud repeat the dance.
Cute. Yeah. I think on this, as the embers of the campfire are dying down, as Bud is like yipping and yipping for this piece of jerky, I think we see like a flurry of snowflakes swooshing across, carrying us into the next stretch of travel. And now, as the scene is swept through transitions, right? if this were like primetime HBO show, we see a blizzard like passing by, and we see the four of you, including Mercy, marching through snowy fields. You're fording icy streams. You're basically following the curvature of Umaori's northern bank to go west. And finally, you break through this frigid tree line to reach the Ogumor River Valley. The vast Ogumor River flows from the head of Umaori Lake all the way west, where you all know it crashes into the depths of the Euclid Chasm at the thundering Ogumor Falls. But that's well over 50 days away. Your party pauses at the crest of a massive snow-covered hill. You look down into the river valley and you see rolling fields of white, hills rising like waves, this early morning sunless gray light inching its way across the boundless horizon. And in the distance you see herds of cattle dotting the landscape surrounded by clusters of gurs, which are portable circular tents covered in animal hide. Mercy takes in a big lungful of icy air, her brow knotted with tension. And then she leads your party into the clans of Kirtal, a brand new nation, which brings us to day 7. Gentle and Sitalali. Where are the two of you? What time of day is it? Why don't you set the scene for me here? And what are the two of you doing when this next scene occurs?
I'm going to defer to Quinn.
Oh, geez. I think it's probably late. It feels like a late night conversation. And I think one of us was on watch and the other one couldn't sleep, so now is also on watch. Maybe neither of us could sleep.
That all feels right.
Yeah.
Hey, Sitlali.
Yeah.
How have you been? I haven't really checked in on you in a while.
And they have their tarot deck in their hands and they're just kind of shuffling it idly. And Sitlali is a changeling. They have absurd, not absurd, it's kind of absurd, pastel, like mixed pastel hair, and their eyes, the irises are bright pink, but the sclera are, by this point, pitch black, I think it's safe to say. No reason, don't worry about it. And they're still in their tall phase, so they're still about 6 feet. And Sitlali kind of stops shuffling the cards and just, I'm fine, focused. How are you?
Really just tired, bummed out. I feel like everyone's really upset and I don't know how I can help, and you're the best at helping people, so I wanted to ask if you had any ideas.
I'm the best at helping people, really? That's a good one. I haven't laughed that hard in a minute.
I mean it. Like, you can heal people's wounds, and like I can do that a little, but you're really good at that.
It comes with the territory, I guess. It's not a big deal.
It's really cool. Like, how did you learn it? Was it hard to learn?
I was a natural.
Cool.
As a
That's really
kid.
nice.
Is it? It's not really. The courts are... Bolshaya was a lot nicer than the courts. I'll just put it that way. I have a question for you.
Sure.
So your mask, the literal one, where does that come from?
I made the first one when I was younger. Um, when I was a kid, I tried to help a bunch of people, and I made a lot of people sick, and they didn't like me a lot, so they didn't want to see my face, so I made a mask. It was wooden and not super good, but I did my best. And I got really good at making new ones, and this one I've been using for a while. It's a little cracked now, but I think it still suits me.
So it was a reaction. It wasn't really a choice.
It was a reaction at first, but I felt, I don't know, better with it for a lot. Like, I, it's harder to feel like I was making people sad with the mask on because they couldn't look me in my eyes as easy and say something.
So wearing masks can be good.
Yes, I think. It makes me feel better when I take it off because the people I take it off for means I really care about them, like you or Drawn or Mercy, even. Um, because you're all my friends, and I don't normally like taking it off. I think I feel safer with it, but for you all, I trust you enough.
Do you ever think about not taking it off?
Yeah, no, there was a long time where I don't think outside of like Jiran, especially when we both lived in Bolshaya, not a lot. I don't think a lot of people saw me without it. I think Jiran may be the only friend I had. Everyone else just sort of, I just hunted, and I mean, they liked that I could get food. That was cool.
And I think they just kind of stare off into space a little bit.
Do you like masks?
I'm a performer, of course I do.
Do you like wearing your masks?
Sometimes you don't have a choice.
Do you wear a mask with us?
Would it change anything if I did?
I'd understand, but I'd be a little sad because I took mine off for you, but I would also respect that.
Okay. I think on that, right? The embers die down again, right? And like we fade out on like Sitlali, like really thinking about what Gentle's saying, this conversation about masks, about who you are and hiding your true face. And as like the fire dies down, we open again, light sheds again on 5 more days passing. And we see little dotted figures across a snowy field, your party traveling across Kirtal, taking in the sights and sounds of a brand new country. The sky here is huge. It's bigger than any other sky in Andake. You take the lowlands, avoiding the dark forests bristling on the spines of nearby hills. You also avoid settlements and particularly large herds, though this is mostly by Mercy's design. And if anyone tries to ask her why we're avoiding people, she snaps a gruff retort and refuses to answer. Seems to still be holding on, even though it's been 7 days, right? 12 days at this point, onto that conversation from earlier. And so, you keep traveling. You make camp on the open field, set up your tents, build fires, set a watch order, etc., etc. And on day 12 of your travels, 5 days after that conversation, Sitlali, tell us, Where are you? And what are you doing when we find you alone?
I think it's morning. I think it's still on the early side. And I think they're twirling a piece of copper wire between their fingers. And they kind of pop their head out of their tent to make sure that no one is around. And presumably they aren't, that they can tell with their 23 perception.
All you see is Mercy. I think she's taking, this is like her watch shift. You just sort of see her. She's still sharpening javelins. She has like a whole bunch of javelins now. And I think because she has too many, she'll like throw some like new ones into the fire to like keep it for wood. She just seems to be doing this to like make busy with her hands. And take her mind off of her thoughts. As you poke your head out, you notice her, but she doesn't notice you. Would you like to make an insight check on Mercy?
Oh, you know I would. Oh, God, what is my... Hold on. How do I... What am I... Who am I... Okay. 19.
19. You can tell... Because this is her with no pretense. She doesn't know she's being watched. As far as she knows, everyone else is asleep. And you see like her brow is knitted and there's so many emotions playing across her face. The prominent one is anxiety. She's nervous to be in Kirtal for some reason. And you're thinking back to all the times when you're like, can we stop by like a settlement to like get provisions or something? She's like, no, we have to take this like weird out of the way path, right? She seems to be very wary of Kyrians specifically, though you're not sure why. But bubbling underneath that anxiety is just this deep, with a 19, this deep well of sadness and regret. It's just sort of simmering on her face, like a pot brought so close to boil, but not allowed to erupt just yet. It seemed like the conversation she had with Jiran and Gentle, which you probably overheard in your tent because it got to shouting, was like the pot boiling over, but now it's brought back to that low simmer, and she's just sitting there simmering. And there's something about Oka this entire time that she has not told your party, something that she's holding on to, right? That she seems, like she would rather eat her boot than tell the party about. You know what I mean? Like there's a very reluctant piece of information that she has yet to share.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you can do with the 19.
Noted. So I will observe that. So Lally will remember this. Pop back into the tent.
Okay.
Just kind of sit in the middle of it and huff. And cast Sending.
Okay. What does that look like?
I think they just sort of bend the piece of copper wire and it sparks with that sort of dark, divine is a strong word for it, but we'll use it because that's technically what it is, energy. And, oh, you have to count, fuck. So, quietly, out loud, counting on their fingers to make sure they don't fuck it up. Hey, you. It's your least favorite. Where the fuck did you go? At least let us know you're good. Please.
Okay.
And then waits for a response.
As you sort of mutter this out loud and counts on your fingers, the little bit of copper wire, right, shrivels up as the spell is cast, and it consumes this component. You see it just sort of whittled down like a matchstick, left to burn, until it crumbles into ash, coppery ash in your fingers. And then you feel like, as you always do, when magic bursts out of you, almost like the weave is tightening around your chest, the magic comes out, and then, horrifyingly, the magic is sucked back in. as you feel something inside you pulling on the threads of the weave, right? Like a spider invading another spider's web, pulling it down, untangling this precious spell work you've wrought, and sucking that magic back into your soul, as your emissary prevents you from casting Sending.
Hey, what the fuck?
As you sort of exclaim this out loud, you hear a voice in your head, this like cold, low, clicking, rasping voice that ever since the Cataclysm has glommed onto your soul, sort of echo around the inside of your brain saying, "No, you don't need anyone else. You only need me. Sitlali. Is your magic not a good enough gift from me to you? Do not be ungrateful. I am your friend."
If I recall correctly, you're the one who needed me, or you die, allegedly. Of course, I don't know how much of that I believe, considering Unmei's just fine with a fucking lake.
Unmei is the lake. Kill the lake and you kill her. Kill her and you kill the lake. Emissaries, we have more free reign on the now than our gods do. I have found myself safe shelter in your soul, and in return, you do not lose what makes you special. And at that, like, your hands, regardless of you, start to glow with this, like, new dark light, as your emissaries, like, sort of, like, gesturing that, like, this is the gift, it's your magic.
So, you're just here to stay. Am I right about that? Is this just the new normal? Is this what we're doing? Like, can I even get rid of you if I want to?
How could you get rid of me, Sitlali? I am the hole left behind by death, the negative space around the loss, the small, barren thing that remains when even grief is gone. I am lonely. And in that moment, you realize they're not just saying that they're lonely, they're telling you their name. And you are my Sitlali.
I'm going to pull out my soul bag of 24 souls.
Okay.
And what happens if I let these go?
They disappear into nothingness, and you commit sacrilege.
You said we reap them, we don't consume them?
No, we do not.
Well, I guess that's a relief. So what do I do with them? What do you recommend, considering we are separate entities?
We are heading west regardless. Continue west after the chasm. Eventually we must return home, Sitlali,
That's
we must
so
go
many more.
back to the
That's not
weave-spun nest. We must place these souls inside the nest and give them to what remains of the queen.
She's still there.
I don't know, but every day we get closer, and soon I will know.
Can I insight check any of this?
That's so funny. Yeah, go for it.
Insight checks myself. Oh my god. 12.
12. You can tell that there's no major deceit here, right? Everything Lonely is telling you seems to be coming out of their lack of a heart, I guess. You're not sure if this emissary has a heart, so to speak. But it seems to be speaking to you as authentically as it can, with a 12. And it seems very desperate to stay attached to you, because unlike Unmei, it doesn't have anything to hold on to in the now outside of you. So if you were to separate, you'd lose your magic, and they'd just be gone, like those souls.
Yup. You don't. If I try to message someone again, are you just gonna kill my spell slot again? Is that just how it's gonna be?
You do not need anyone else's help aside from mine, Sitlali. Do not ask again, my friend. And you feel like the strings of magic in your soul bend, and one of them snaps as Quinn, I'm going to ask you to remove sending as a spell from your spell list, and you no longer have access to it. You can swap it out with another spell.
Okay.
It feels like a part of you has been just snapped. You lose access to a part of your magic.
Okay.
Like a river with so many tributaries, and one of the tributaries has suddenly been dammed up, and now the water's just bashing against the logs. That's how it feels.
Fuck. And I think I do say that out loud as I clutch my chest. It's gonna. Woof. Ow. Understood. Message received. Ironically enough.
Good. And I think that's where that scene ends. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. I think on the light coming dark on this tent, right? Sitlali clutching her chest as you feel gasping maybe, right? Sweat rolling down the side of your face, reeling with this magic that's just been taken from you like a toy from a child's hand. Another week passes. Another 8 days on the road. Your party scuffles with monsters, you brave blizzards, you fight back the darkest well as you can. You even see inexplicable things. One of them is a shimmering hill, jittering with weird magic in the wake of the Cataclysm. Its outline is blackly iridescent, reminiscent of the slick that attacked Unmei. And looking at it is kind of like looking into a prism. Dozens of the same thing refracted back at you, thrumming with wrongness. The trees on the sides of this hill glitch in and out of existence, and you start getting a headache whenever you look at it for too long. You also see other anomalies. The remnants of sinkholes, banks flooded with frozen water, even the smoldering remains of forest fires, which makes no sense in the dead of winter. Nothing in Andake makes sense anymore. Up is down, down is up, right is wrong, wrong is right. And on day 20 of travel, Jiran and Sitlali tell me, where are you and what are you doing when we find the two of you in a scene on day 20?
I think this would be maybe shortly after Duran has just come back from a hunt. So they're kind of like, they've got like a dagger in one hand and like the carcass of maybe like a small deer or something in the other. And they're like bringing it back for presumably for dinner to have for everyone. And I think maybe they run into Sitlali on their way back.
Oh, good haul.
Yeah, it seems that despite the monsters running around, there's still some semblance of regular life left.
That's good. Are you hurt at all?
No, I'm okay.
Good, that's good. Because if you were, I mean, I could, you know.
Yeah, no. You've still managed to keep your magic. By the way, I've never asked you about that, and I guess I'm curious, how did you manage to keep your magic?
That's kind of a long story, don't you think? I mean,
I suppose.
you know, some people are just lucky, I guess.
Yeah, some are. Here, let me just put this down, and then
Yeah.
we can chat. And I
Yeah,
think Duran
sure.
goes to like put the deer carcass onto. Supposedly they've got like some sort of makeshift like space setup where they do like skinning and like all of the like prep for the food and stuff. And he just kind of like leaves it on the table, kind of cleans off the dagger on his armor from where there's probably a little bit of blood still left, sheaths it, and then like comes back to sit with Sitlali by the fire.
So, how are you?
I think you and I know better than to ask that question, don't we?
Yeah, but you know, old habits. I think I know something that could take your mind off of things.
Oh, yeah. What do you have in mind?
And they pull out their deck. Um, you know, for all of my showmanship, I do actually have some sense of. I can actually. Do you want a reading?
Yeah. Yeah, actually that would be really interesting. And I think Joanne kind of looks around to see, is anyone else around?
I don't think so. I think it's just the two of you.
Then I think Joanne kind of leans in a little bit conspiratorially and kind of whispers, I think Mercy knows more than she's letting on. Do you think you could figure out what it is that she might know, or why she's hiding whatever she's hiding?
I lean forward as well. I don't need to do a reading to know that Mercy's full of shit, but like, yeah, I can see if I can get specifics.
I think Jerron laughs when you say that, like, it's no secret that Mercy's full of shit.
And like as Jerron laughs, like they kind of the cards fumble in their hand a little bit. And I'm gonna cast Augury.
Okay.
And try to give Jerron a proper reading.
What kind of a spread is it? How many cards are you drawing?
I think they're gonna draw 3.
Okay.
That's a good number.
How does augury work? Does it just happen?
It just happens, but good noises from Quinn. The GM chooses from the following possible omens: wheel for good results, woe for bad results, wheel and woe for both good and bad results. Nothing for results that aren't especially good or bad.
Okay. Can I tell you what cards you draw in that case? And perhaps how you might be able to interpret them? Unless, because I feel like if you're reading specifically from Mercy, I feel like I can, give you some stuff to read off of. Okay.
Yeah.
The first card you draw is Judgment, reversed.
Oh, God.
Okay. The second card you draw is Two of Swords. And the third and final card you draw is the Ten of Wands.
Huh.
If you want me to help you interpret these from Mercy's perspective, you can roll for it.
Yeah.
If you would like. That'll be,
sounds...
I think it'll be an insight check on the cards.
Okay. I will insight check my own deck because it is marked. So, I could fuck it up. That's a 19 plus. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a natural 20. So 28.
That's a nat. Oh my god. Okay, I guess you know everything about Mercy. No.
So Lolly is just psychic.
So,
give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
You find out, you discover Mercy's true name. So Judgment reversed. Basically, generally what this means is regretting past actions, right? Guilt, and Judgment is major arcana. So this is the biggest thing, right? Major guilt and regret is hanging over Mercy, is the overall tone that Judgment reversed is setting. And usually this happens after a period of self-critique, right? And self-criticism and beating herself up, right? And now she's sitting in the aftermath of that and just sitting in regret, steeped in it, right? The next one, which is the Two of Swords, I think this particular version of the deck, if it's okay with you, has a picture of a person dual wielding swords, but they're blindfolded. So a lot of what Two of Swords imagery means is you're in denial, right? You can't accept what's happened, and instead of owning up to what you've done and being honest, you're lashing out, you're projecting, you're burying your head in the sand, right? And you're allowing that guilt and shame to build up from within. And the final card, the Ten of Wands, I think on the image is a person carrying 10 really heavy sticks that honestly kind of look like Mercy's javelins, I think. That she's been carving this entire time. It looks and you maybe see a flash of that superimposed over the card. This just means that the burden of that guilt and shame is weighing on her, right? Really heavily. And she's carrying it around with her instead of letting it go and moving on. So that's what a nat 20 gives you. And that's what those cards mean.
And I think I just kind of stare at them for a minute and just go, well, Mercy, get in line. She's spiraling. She made some bad choices and she's spiraling about it. That's what it is.
Well, we're all spiraling, I think. I guess, is there anything that we can do to maybe help her stop? Because when you make bad decisions and you spiral, you make more bad decisions. And I don't think we can afford that right now.
As someone who has never made a bad decision in their entire life, I am inclined to agree with you.
Yeah, no, of course. Every decision you make is always perfect.
I was joking.
I wasn't.
Ooh.
Well, I think they fumble to shuffle the cards back, and it's probably honestly she needs to deal with things in her own way, which is not well, and it never has been, and it probably never will be, and that's fine. That's some people's journeys, I guess. But maybe if we push her a little less about the past, as she would put it, and focus more on what's right in front of you. I mean her. Then maybe you see what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, I guess. I guess I could be nicer to her about it. She's been so flippant in it. I don't understand it, but I guess it's probably not helpful for me to push her on that, so you're right. Okay, I'll try.
It's hard, but you can talk to me about it if you want.
I'd like that sometime.
Cool.
Okay, and I think on that, like, kind of awkward, like, is this the closest that Lali's ever gone to flirting that we've ever seen from them before? I think on that, right, we're gonna, like, pull out of this, like, campfire with the two of you sat across from each other. Maybe still Ali can, like, pass off the redness of their cheeks from, like, the flames licking up in the darkness, right? You're like, oh god, maybe Sharon doesn't notice. And on that, like, drifting up with the smoke of the campfire, we're gonna wipe the scene and get to 5 more days passing. All right, 5 more days pass, traveling across Kirtal, going west, following the magic water, until we reach night 25. Jiran, Sitlali, and Gentle. The 3 of you find yourselves sitting around a campfire, as usual, with your illustrious leader, Mercy. A couple days ago, Mercy hunted a mountain goat, and you're still eating off of it, I think. And its haunch is roasting above the fire, the delicious smell of cooking meat and rendering fat thick in the air. Mercy also allowed the 3 of you, against her own better judgment, to trade goods and coin with a merchant you met on the road. Though during that entire exchange, Mercy looked really shifty, really on edge. And among other purchases, your party acquired a few flasks of good old-fashioned Kyrian Arki, or milk vodka, made from fermented mare's milk. The Arki is overflowing, the goat is roasting, and for a few hours on the 25th night of travel, without directly talking about all the stuff that's happened so far, everything feels kind of normal. And I think that's where we find our party now. The starless sky hanging heavy above you, but the jovial light of that bonfire and the torches you've erected to mark the perimeter of your campsite keeps the darkness at bay. And the flat, open fields of the valley stretch out in all directions around you. No hills in this stretch of land. If the stars were still here, their shimmer would likely reflect off of the snowy field, giving you the illusion of sitting amongst the gods. But the stars, of course, aren't here anymore. Gentle, Sitlali, Jiran, what are the 3 of you talking about?
How's everyone been?
The Lolly takes a really big fucking drink.
Good. One thing I've been wanting to ask about is, like, did we ever talk about the Cataclysm? Did we just kind of keep it moving past that?
What's there to talk about?
Well, I don't know what happened to anyone. I only know what I did, and I don't remember a whole lot. I wasn't awake for long. I mean, I can go first, but does anyone not want to talk about it? Because that's also fair, but I feel like it's healthy to maybe commiserate together on this.
Screw it, let's just get it over with. This was gonna happen eventually. Alright, let's talk about it. Let's have a feeling session. Gentle, you go first. How did the Cataclysm affect you?
Well, I saw people. I was sort of doing my own thing. And I saw people start to disappear. And then I heard screaming, and I saw my first, the first bad monsters. They were like little chickens with lots of teeth, essentially. And they were attacking someone, and I tried to shoo them away, and they latched onto me, and that wasn't great. And I ran the opposite way from all the people, so no one else would get hurt. And then I ran into Jiran. That's what happened to me.
If it wasn't for Jiran, you probably would have bled out on that lake and died.
Yeah, but I helped save some people, so not the worst thing in the world.
Drops of water in a bucket. I mean, thank you for sharing your truth, Gentle.
Gentle will quietly put their mask back on and sit back.
Okay. What's going through your mind, Gentle?
The treatment of like life so callously has deeply frustrated Gentle. Gentle is a little angry. So they're gonna put their mask on and listen to their friends and not think about it for a second.
Okay. Mercy sort of gestures with her like big mug of milk vodka to Jiran. What about you? What did the Cataclysm take from you, huh? J-boy?
I'm sorry, did you just call me J-boy?
She did! She's a little drunk.
Oh my god, okay. I think throughout this whole process, Jiran has just kind of been like, knees up, like, oh, I'm spinning. Knees up, like, arms on the knees, looking like, staring into the fire. And just, without looking at Mercy, just kind of says, the apocalypse happened. What do you want me to say?
What did it take from you, Some chicken boys get on you too? I didn't see any scars. You've been awfully quiet about everything in Boshaya.
I think at this point, Jiran looks up at Mercy and just... So many people died. And we were given life. We were given a second chance when others were given death. And I think that's all the proof that we need to know that the world we live in, it's hell.
You know what, Jiran? You're absolutely right. There's no good reason why others die while we stay alive. It's completely arbitrary.
You weren't there, Mercy. You didn't see it. Have you ever seen Zima Lake boil? Because I did. And the ice cracked. Because the lake underneath it was roiling, angry at us. And I saw my parents. They're somewhere beneath the waves, somewhere beneath the water of Zima Lake, boiling to death. Already boiled to death. And Oka, I don't even know where Oka is or if they're okay. If they're even alive. And I should have done more to save people. It's never enough, is it? So, no, I don't fucking know what to say about all of this, Mercy. Because the world fucking ended. My world ended.
Sheesh. Hamna, you can take... Why don't you take a point of inspiration as Jiran, so you have 2 total now. I think a silence settles as Mercy just sort of like for the first time looks you in the eye. She's like looking at you directly, and the sort of like mocking smirk on her face has faded, and in its wake there's just like, God. Would you like to roll insight to see what that expression is? I don't know if you've ever seen it on her face before.
Yes, always love rolling insight. Let's see what happens. Please be nice to me. Oh my god. Okay, I'm using my inspiration on that. 'cause
Okay.
that was a 2.
Sounds good.
That was a 4. I'm gonna use my. Can I use the other point of inspiration?
Yes.
Please?
Yes, you can. You have 2 points, so use the other one.
Oh, thank God. Okay, 18. I have no inspiration left. So
Nice. This
We
is a
did
good
it.
roll to burn it on. 18. The expression is empathy.
Mercy has feelings. We did it, folks.
Against her will, yes. She looks at you and says, I'm sorry. I didn't know you lost your shit, kid. I'm sorry.
We've all lost a lot. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah. But we live for them, huh? It's the only reason we're still here. There's no reason, but that's the only one. You know what I mean? Sidlali, please tell us you lost a deck of cards or a nail or something.
You know, Mercy, I didn't lose anything during the Cataclysm. Not a single thing. I gained something, actually.
Black eyes?
Yeah.
How can you still do magic, Sidlali?
And I think to myself, is it okay to tell them?
If you feel they will not jeopardize our bond. If they will not understand, do not give them the honor of knowing about us.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah, I would, actually. I make it a point to know how my monster hunters work.
No, you make it a point to know that they do work, and I do, so does it matter?
Is this gonna put us in deep shit later, Sidlali? Your magic,
No.
is it gonna backfire? Is it gonna spiral out of control? Are you gonna slip up in a crucial moment when we need you?
You want to talk about spiraling, Mercy? That's cute.
What is it, Gentle?
How come you're interested in Lolly's story and you care about your own story, but you made fun of mine?
Oh, Gentle. Sorry, I was staying character. What? Oh, you mean my remark about the chicken things? Gentle, it's just a joke.
I did almost die. That's I still have scars from it, and but Bud's alone because of that. And I understand. Like, I get it. You like to use jokes to feel better, but I am still a person too, and the mask makes it easier to not look at me to say it, but it hurts a little bit actually.
Oh, does it? Does it hurt,
Yeah.
Gentle?
Yeah.
Are you mad? Are you mad at me right now?
Why do you want
For the
me
first
to be mad
time
at
in your
you?
life. In your life, are you angry?
I'm not angry. I just someone has to let other people be angry towards them, and someone has to be the calm one to calm everyone else down.
They
I'm
are.
upset.
You think you're the mediator here? You're a fucking punching bag, Gentle. So roll over and let us walk all over you.
Do you want to? Do you
What?
want me to?
Does that make you mad?
Do
Does that make you angry? Do you want to punch me right now? And like Mercy's like starting to get up out of her seat. It seems like what Sitlali said has maybe touched a nerve, so she's taking it out on Gentle a little bit here.
I don't want to hit you. Please don't. Please don't make me do this.
I think Sitlali stands up and takes a step towards between them and looks Mercy in the face. What aren't you telling us, and what did you lose?
What did I lose? What did I lose? How can the Cataclysm take from someone who doesn't have anything? No, I didn't lose anything in the vanishing. At least I thought I didn't. Unless you count Oka leaving as losing something. But the vanishing didn't cause that. No, I don't. Because that wasn't caused by the vanishing. That wasn't the apocalypse. That was Oka's choice. They left us. They left me. On purpose. That was their decision.
So it was your apocalypse then? That's fine. Different dates.
Fuck you, Sitlali.
I'm gonna go in and try to give Mercy a hug the way that we have awkwardly hugged before.
Ooh. Ooh. Should I do a fortune roll? I don't know. I wish there was like a comfort or support move in D&D. Okay, why don't you roll a d20 and tell me what you get? This is a luck roll.
Oh, okay.
It's just a flat d20. You can use inspiration.
The luckiest number.
The luckiest number. Do you want to keep the 13?
I'm gonna use an inspiration.
Okay, sounds good.
19.
19. Okay. You want to keep that? That's the second highest number you could get on a roll. So
yeah, I'm gonna keep that.
Okay. You go in and you hug Mercy. And Mercy just like stands there, right? Like looking over your shoulder at Gentle, who's, across the fire, at Jiran, who's also taking this in. Like Mercy just sort of stands there, like arms up with Sitlali hugging her. And for, first time in a long time, Mercy looks speechless.
I think Jiran remembering their conversation with Sitlali is going to just like deep sigh, get up, and also hug Mercy. We're trying to be nice. Group hug!
Oh, are you? I mean, Mercy was kind of a dick to you and hasn't really apologized. But you're Gentle. That's your thing. What do you do?
I know. Gentle is a lot of pity in their heart. They'll hug. I think they're still not like making eye contact with anyone though.
Okay. Wow. I was not expecting this. As all three of you hug Mercy, she like finally, like, her body was so stiff. She feels like a marble statue. Like, she's like, do not fucking touch me. But as all three of you hug her, she, like, gradually, slowly relaxes, right? And, like, lowers her arms awkwardly, right? And looks down at Gentle specifically. And is trying to, like, make eye contact with you through the slits in your mask. But even if you don't look back at her, she's gonna say to you, Gentle, I just want you to toughen up, Gentle. Because this cataclysm, this apocalypse, if you think that what happened to you is the worst that's gonna come to you down the line, I wish it didn't have to be that way, but that's how life is.
Mercy, can I say something? Oh, sorry.
No, that's all I have to say.
Tougher than I look. I'm a hunter by trade, and I don't know if you watched me help defend Unmei, but I'm pretty strong when I need to be. But if I focus entirely on my physical body, I still need to make sure that I'm okay on the inside. And I think you're the opposite of me that way. If that's not me being mean. And I want you to look at your insides too and take care of them.
Wow, you really are something, Gentle. I was a grade A bitch to you and didn't even sock me in the face. Okay, fine. Listen, there's something about Oka I need to tell the three of you. And the ground starts shaking. And I need all of you to make a dex save. And on that, we're gonna cut to a break. We're gonna cut to a 10-minute break. We'll be back in 10.
Say it with a straight face. You can't even say it with a straight fucking face.
We'll be back at 30 past. We love you all so much. See you in 10. Enjoy the fan art. Shbeesh. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see all your digital non-existent faces in the chat. Welcome to the back half of the Hounds of Mercy episode 2. So just in case you missed the content warnings at the top of the session, I'll just read them out again so you can take care of yourself and your heart. Content warnings for... Just in general, Transplanar RPG is a gritty, grimdark fantasy world that contains subject matter that might be triggering potentially to some viewers, so use discretion when watching this show. Content warnings for this episode and the series in general may include fantasy violence, monsters and body horror, blood and bloodletting, addiction and substance use, romance and flirting acted out on screen, references to romantic and sexual entanglement, toxic relationships, shitty people, environmental disasters, refugees and displacement, and apocalyptic events. So with that out of the way, let's get right back into the session with The Earth Shakes. All at once. It might have been building in the distance this entire time, but y'all were all caught up in this conversation with such raptness that you don't notice it until it gets big. The earth trembles all around you. You can see the tent flaps, right, of your various tents set up, like quivering and trembling in the darkness. Mercy stumbles as all three of you are hugged around her, and I need all three of you to make a dexterity saving throw. As this earthquake, you're not sure what it is, earth tremor, racks the campsite. What did you all get?
I have a +7 and I somehow still got a 10.
You're cursed.
Oh my
God.
God.
I am cursed, like actually.
Okay, John, you get a 10. Sitlali?
4.
A 4. A gentleman's 4. Gentle?
A 22.
Oh my God. Okay, so Mercy and Gentle save. Jaron and Sitlali do not. So those who don't save, you are knocked prone. And you're going to take just a teeny smidge of bludgeoning damage as you fall onto your butts. That's only going to be 1 point of bludgeoning damage each. It's not too much. Don't worry about it. It's more embarrassing than anything as the earth starts like cracking and splintering. Is that what's happening? And maybe like all of you are thrown into like a horrible flashback of like Lake Zima cracking and splintering, vents of hot steam coming up from the bubbling frozen lake below. And then you flash back into the present, Jaron, as you're knocked off your feet. You fall back onto your ass. Sitlali, your feet also give from underneath you, and you also collapse onto the ground. And you realize it's not the ground that the ground isn't cracking open. It's just shaking with such fury and intensity that it feels like it's about to open up and swallow you all. And then you all sense the reason. The noise is what alerts you to the cause. The sound of dozens and dozens and dozens of galloping hooves takes over. At first you're like, is that a roll of thunder? Is that a peal of lightning in the distance? No, my friends, it's a massive herd soaring out of the darkness, out of like the 40 feet of like dim light that your torches on the perimeter are casting, you see barreling at you from the east a massive just herd of like stampeding animals. And the weirdest thing about this is it's not just all one species or a couple of species, it's a whole mixed bag. You see horses, you see zebras, their snouts flaring, their like striped bodies sort of rippling in the dark. You see gazelles, you see antelopes, you see camels. You even see, lifting its huge trunk, a freaking elephant in the back with tusks tossing its head side to side, and they're charging right for your camp. Gentle and Mercy are going to go first, I think, because you're not prone. Gentle, what do you do? You're the first to act.
Is there a way I can... I might animal handling or something to see if I can get them from actually charging into us.
Okay, so are you going to run forward toward the herd? They seem to be like heading right for the camp and will like trample you and your stuff. So are you going to bravely wade forward and try to stop them, or how's
Have
your
I learned a lesson? Absolutely not. Yes, I am.
Okay. I'm going to say straight up it will be impossible. I'm just not going to allow you. So if you get like a nat 20, I don't want you to feel robbed if I say it doesn't work. But I'm just going to like straight up set the boundaries of what is and isn't possible here. You could, with a high enough roll, try to like open up sort of like Moses parting the Red Sea, like open up like a channel. Right. Okay. Yeah. The roll has to be, the DC's really high though. The DC's really high. Yeah. So roll animal handling.
All right. Let's... Oh, all right. That's a 15. That doesn't feel high enough.
Okay. You want to stick with the 15? You have 1 point of inspo.
I do. Let's see if I'm feeling lucky. I'll burn it.
Okay.
I did not good enough. Nope.
Sticking with the 15?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a total or your raw roll?
That is total. It's 12 plus 3.
Okay. With a 15, tell me what this looks like as you're trying to divert the flow of animals.
I think it is just like I'm trying my best to seem big enough to like get them out of the way. To like have them like, all right, this is clearly some sort of threat. Let's skirt around it.
Okay. You run up to like the fringe of the camp. You like puff yourself up and you're trying to like make yourself look like a threat and hopefully ward off some of these animals. A couple of the more skittish gazelles, right, sort of like dive out of your way. Several of the deer turn and they like go around the camp. But I'm gonna say like maybe like a dozen of them charge in anyway. But you diverted like 3 dozen, so like a third of it with your 15 like starts stampeding into the camp past you, right? Like a horse gallops past you, you're unable to stop, right? Like you see, thankfully the elephant has gone off and the elephant is not going to trample you, right? But you see like a deer like just sort of just looks frantic and I think it leaps over you in like one big bound and it like just completely clears your head, and then a gazelle runs into you, barrels into you, and then out of like while you're reeling from that hit, a freaking rhino slams into your back. So I need you to take, with that 15, I need you to take 12 points of bludgeoning damage. From just cumulative animals slamming into you. It's the rhino, it's the camel, a gazelle here, right, a horse there, and you're just sort of starting to get trampled by these animals, but you haven't gone under yet. Jaron, Sitlotli, what do you do?
Question. Is there anywhere like to a nearby that we can get to get away from these animals? Like, is it just kind of like in the horizon there's just so many of them that it doesn't look like we can get away? Or
there were maybe 3 dozen of them, and because of Gentle's actions, a third of them went off to your left, another third went off to your right, and the remaining third is charging right into you. They fanned out. So if you were trying to run to the left or the right out of here, you'd still have to fight through a herd, and that would mean abandoning your tent and your equipment.
Right. Yes. Oh, that makes things difficult because I was gonna... Okay, I think Jaron's first thought is to get... Because they saw that Sitlali also fell. So I think their thought is that I need to get Sitlali out of the way. So he's gonna kind of like, not even get up, but like roll over to Sitlali and like try to grab her and like basically roll out of the way, kind of, I guess, trying to find like a spot maybe in between like one of the ones, the herds on the side and one of the like middle herds.
Yeah, totally, right? Like that Simba moment when like Simba's like up against the rock and they're all leaping over the rock and don't hit Simba. Okay,
Yeah.
So Jiran, this seems like your main motive here is to protect Sitlali. So I need you to make either an acrobatics or an athletics check to see how well you do that.
Okay, I think on that front we are going to do acrobatics because that's higher. 16.
Okay, that is just sufficient, but you're gonna take some damage instead.
That's fine.
Though you do save Sitlali from it. Describe to me what it looks like as you grab Sitlali and you hunker down behind maybe like a large boulder that's nearby.
I think the way that Jiran, so I think what you see is like Jiran is like on his butt, like laying down on the ground, kind of looks over, sees Sitlali, and like immediately, without really even needing to like push off the ground, just kind of like rolls over, like grabs Sitlali, and then like with perhaps a more agility than you would have expected, like gets like not like fully up, but kind of like half stands up and like pulls into maybe like a outcropping or something where there's somewhere to hide.
Okay, sounds good. As you dive and you grab Sitlali, I think like a stampeding like goat, like a really big goat. Okay, maybe it's less of a goat and more of an ibex, let's say, like an ungulate, right? It tosses its huge head and it just clocks you like in the side. So I need you to take 9 points of bludgeoning and 3 points of piercing damage from those hordes as they sort of gore you and scrape you down the side. But it's, you know, it's running. It's not like out to get you, you just get in the way, right? And you duck under this rock and you pull Sitlali in. Sitlali, what are you doing?
Well, I've just been scooped, and saw Jiran take some damage, so I'm just gonna cast some Cure Wounds while I've been scooped. What is that? 1d8 numbers. I'm triangled in chords. I'm extremely... Okay. Where's the D8? Haha. Oh, that's good. I can't do math though. That's 12 points of healing.
That's like full. You heal all the way back up, right? So what does it look like as you reach over and you heal Jiran, who's like got this like gore like along like his side?
I think it's that like dark kind of light that, and it's like kind of sticky, like not like sticky, but words. It like, I want to say it looks like it almost knits the flesh back together, and like lingers a little bit longer than their magic used to, like an oil slick, before it kind of like dissipates.
Okay. I really like that. Yeah, you sort of like loom over as like thundering hooves like run past you like freaking battering rams. Just the earth is trembling. You reach over, you take a deep breath, you focus, and this dark grasping magic slowly knits Jiran's flesh back up. And you hear Lonely's voice in your head go, I hope they're worth your help. And I think while that's happening, Mercy's also diving into action. She just sort of shouts out, the water! And she's like diving toward her tent, like in the middle of all these like rushing animals, and is like trying to scoop it up. And she's like dodging like between like these like goats and these horses, and these cows, right? And these antelopes and these deer. She's like dodging amongst them. And I think all of you can sort of see in the chaos, like Mercy scoops up the tent, like pulls it down by force. And like, I think a frickin', a bison is barreling toward her, like making a straight beeline for her. She sees it at the last moment, steadies herself, grabs it by the horns when it collides with her, and suplexes it onto the ground behind her. Bam! And the bison's like legs are in the air, and it's like thrashing, and it quickly scrabbles back to its feet, and it continues galloping away as Mercy has successfully protected her tent and her equipment, including Unmay's vial of magical water, from this onslaught. But some time has passed, so I think what this means is the rest of your tents get clobbered just a little bit by the initial onslaught of these animals. They just trample over your equipment like I think like a buffalo tramples over like the campfire and just like starts putting it out as the flames start to flicker and die down. And I need all three of you to make a perception check at this stage.
16.
Okay, 16 from Duran.
13.
13 from Gentle.
26.
26 from Sitlali. Sitlali, you hear it first. In the near distance, getting closer, are more hooves. But there's something different about these hooves. Because let's say you're peeking over the boulder as you start to feel like the herd is starting to die down a bit. Like this seems to be like the initial onslaught is starting to die down. But another wave is coming and you're like, God damn, more animals? You peek over the boulder and you see carrying torches are Kyrian riders. No fewer than a dozen. On horseback, and they're like pursuing this herd and they're shouting in Kyrian. Do any of you speak Kyrian or understand it in your languages?
I know so many languages, but not Kyrian.
Okay. Then I don't think any of you know what they're saying, but they're shouting and they seem to be impassioned and insistent, and they appear to be chasing this herd. Right? And like, I think all of you see it now. Duran and Gentle. Gentle, you're the first one there. You've been battered, you've been winded, but now you're seeing like barreling down at you. This like herd kicking up like snow and plumes of dust in the darkness, holding torches. Or rather, the torches are mounted on special sconces on their horses. Kyrian cavalry. What do you do?
If I know they're speaking a language that I absolutely don't understand, I might try to find some sort of visual or some like shorthand of I am a friend.
Okay. Are you gonna run forward? Everyone speaks common, so you can talk in common.
Perfect.
This is just their native tongue, but everyone speaks common.
Gotcha. Hi. Is there anything I can do to help?
Gentle, roll. I usually don't ask for charisma checks, but a lot is happening. So why don't you roll me a persuasion check?
Right. And that's a 17.
Okay. Most of them barrel past you because they seem to be listening to a leader of theirs. As they start to like run up on you, leading the charge, you see a tiefling woman. Okay? She's got this dark red skin, and she has this like sort of like short black hair that's sort of swept up almost into a no-nonsense ponytail. She's got these like curved black horns coming out of her forehead, and she's draped in these sort of like this like studded leather armor, and she has like a composite bow made of like sinew and horn and wood out, and she has like 2 arrows notched to it, right? That you notice like both of the arrows are lit with fire, and as she barrels past you, she just sort of glances down at you, and then her eyes sort of widen as she realizes there are people here, and she barks something in Kyrian, and like at the last minute, the cavalry who are I think about to trample you in the middle of the darkness because they're really intent on chasing this runaway herd, they like split, and because of this woman shouting an order, they like don't run into you, Gentle, and she slows down a little bit, barks a couple more orders, and most of the cavalry peel off, but like 3 or 5 remain with her, right? Most of them run off to like chase the herd that has now completely stampeded over your tents and are like continuing west. They're continuing to go west, and the rest of this women's unit moves off to chase them. But she pauses here as she lets 2 of these arrows loose at the ground, and magically these like torches ignite, right? Spiraling out of nowhere, these 2 torches ignite to sort of like light the tent better. You get the sense that she like fired these arrows so she could see better. And she sort of like draws her horse to like a halt around you, and the other like remaining 4 or 5 cavalry people like also like slow down and start to like assess the situation. And I don't think they see Duran, Sitlali, or Mercy yet, because y'all are sort of in the muck. You're in your campsite taking care of it. So this woman looks down at you and says in common, "You, it's dangerous out here at night. What are you doing here?"
Hi, I'm Gentle. I'm a monster hunter, Hounds of Mercy. And our camp got sort of trampled a second ago. Yeah. Hi. Who are you? Nice to meet you.
Yes, you were trampled by one of the runaway herds. It's been a problem.
Yeah.
How long have you been traveling through Kirtal? They've started to become epidemic.
we've been traveling for a while. We've headed out from Jukai. We've been just sort of on the move. Do you want to meet the rest of my group? I'm not really the operations person here.
Certainly, certainly. Did the herd take any of your animals? Any of your own herd? Did they leave? Did they join the stampede?
No,
I don't see any of your
fine.
animals here. Where are they?
I just slipped up, bud. No, this is our only animal.
Oh, I see. You're not very well equipped to survive in Kirtal, then. Everything here is about our fields and our herd.
Yeah, maybe so. I will get you in touch with my Mercy, and I just sort of walk that way.
I'm sorry. Did you say Mercy? And she's gonna sort of like clop alongside you atop her horse. She has not come down it, right? And sort of squeezes her legs and the horse knickers. And you see it's like a dapple gray gelding is this horse. It's very beautiful. Actually, it's got this like beautiful, like she's wearing, I think she's riding bareback. Nope, she's riding with a saddle because she has stirrups. I did a lot of research into this actually, and her like feet are currently in the stirrups and she like squeezes the legs, squeezes the flank of this horse and the horse sort of like slowly goes forward. While this is happening, Jiran, Sitlali.
Sitlali, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
No, well, I mean, thank you. You helped with that herd. Oh, that hurt a lot, but I seem to be perfectly fine now.
Good. That's good.
Looking around, I think Jiran sees like the stampede having destroyed all of their tents and just kind of sighs. And I assume, okay, question.
Yes.
What was in our tents? Because this is important.
Let's say we'll resolve what is destroyed and what remains. Maybe like after the session, unless it's important to Jiran right now to like have something.
It's not important right now. It is going to be important later.
Yes. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we'll resolve that off screen, I think. But just know that like a lot of your equipment is fucked.
Okay, great. I think Jiran is going to just bend down and start like clearing things up, trying to like pick up and see like what's fine and what's not, and like trying to put the tent like back up essentially.
Okay. Yeah. You assess the damage and you start to slowly bring the poles of the tent back up. But as you like start to raise the poles, you realize they're snapped. Like one snapped in half, another pole's completely shattered. One pole's like scattered. It's like left the sleeve of the tent and has scattered across the field. You don't even know how that happened, right? And as you roll out from behind this boulder and start to assess the damage, you notice a couple of these cavalry people, sort of like clopping in toward the toward the outer edges of your tent and looking at you and like cocking their heads and like watching you. And they're all wearing this sort of like light armor, this like light leather armor. They've all got like bows strapped to their back. A couple of them have their bows at rest. They're not pointing them at you, but they have them at rest with like quivers like at the ready, teeming with like fistfuls of arrows, right? And they're all wearing these like sort of furred helms, plated with like leather, hardened leather on top. Sitlali, what are you doing?
Having a gay crisis, but that's for, typical. I think they see Jiran going to try to fix the tent and they just cast light to try and help with that. And like, because fuck it. And I think they have the light, they cast it kind of like on the tip of Jiran's horns so that it's like a headlamp.
That's so cute.
And they're just kind of like, I sure did that. Okay, gonna walk away very confidently. I am confident and fine. And then see Gentle probably. And this tiefling. And I'm still having a gay crisis. It's fine. Don't worry about it. My pansexual heart. I'm just gonna approach Gentle and this definitely not bareback riding tiefling.
As you get closer to the tiefling, you see her face in more detail, especially as the light from Duran's horn starts to illuminate this area even more. You see that she's got these, like I said, curved horns, and as she blinks in this new light blooming into existence, you see that her pupils are horizontal, almost like a goat's pupils, and she has this, like, long, thin tail whipping out of the back of her trousers that ends in this, like, sharp spade, right? That's sort of, like, lashing back and forth a little bit as she's, like, taking in the tent. She sees you. Ah, hi there. Sorry to intrude upon your tent here. I'm sorry, Gentle. You said something about a mercy?
Oh no, not another one. Please tell me this isn't another one.
She's over there, and Mercy.
And all of you see Mercy, like, I think she was kneeling by her crumpled tent and was so intent on making sure, like, the vial of magic water from Unmei is intact. You see that it's in her hands. She lets out a relieved sigh. She sees it's not cracked. She tucks it into a satchel now on her body and looks up when you call her name. Gentle, who are the... And her words die in her throat as she makes eye contact with this tiefling on horseback. And there's like a silence, a beat, a single heartbeat of non-movement as these two women look at each other. And then the tiefling... Gentle, you didn't even notice her knock the arrow. She lets an arrow fly, and it pegs Mercy in the shoulder. Ah! And Mercy lets out a shout of pain as it, like, goes straight through her shoulder. And this woman goes, "You!" and knocks another arrow and looses it, and Mercy drops to her knees and starts rolling, almost like she's in, like, a Dark Souls boss battle, and it's, like, starting to roll, like, she rolls and poof, another arrow comes loose. "Are poof, not poof, allowed poof, in poof, Kier poof, tall," as she continues rolling and, like, dodging most of the arrows, but a couple of them stick into her, right? So Mercy's taking some damage at this point as she shouts out to you, Duran, who's closest to where I think the weapons are kept. "Duran, my greatsword!" And she's holding out her hand for you to toss it to her.
I think Duran does, like, instinctively takes out Mercy's greatsword and, like, throws it at her, but at the same time turning around, like, unsheathing their own rapier, confused, looking up at what's going on.
Mercy catches it and says, no, don't fight her, this is fine. And you notice that the other soldiers are also not attacking, but they've knocked arrows and they've drawn their bows and they're aiming it at Mercy, but they're not letting it loose yet. And this woman on horseback continues to, like, sort of, like, she's standing up in her stirrups so she can pivot and, like, turn the horse and, like, aim at Mercy, even though Mercy's trying to get behind her into her blind spot. But she turns the horse around and, like, moves in perfect sync with her and, like, continues loosing arrows at Mercy's body and saying, "I told you the next time you came into the clans, I'd have your head." Selim, look, I really didn't want this to happen. We're on our way out, okay? We're just headed toward the chasm. We're not gonna give you any trouble. What part of a kill order is unclear? Poof, as she lets out more arrows.
I'm just gonna call out, like, I'm not going to obviously run in front of arrows for Mercy, but I will get closer, and just kind of, excuse me, I'm sorry for her, whatever she did something, obviously. She deserves the kill order, I'm sure.
Why am I the bad guy here? Lieutenant Shy is the most unreasonable, the most, honestly, frankly, needy.
Mercy, respectfully, shut up until you make me your second. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so whatever she's done, I'm so sorry for it. We're not responsible for it though, but, like, can you not kill her? We kind of need her right now. But we will get rid of her for you. Not in, like, a kill way, regrettably, as much as I would enjoy that personally, but, like, We'll go. You just have to, if we can, as fun as it is to watch her roll repeatedly.
Roll persuasion.
Cool. Take it tight. I think I'm good at that. Am I good at that? Hell yeah, I'm good at that. Okay. What's 17 plus 8?
25.
It's a that.
Okay, 25. Okay. She slowly, she has an arrow knocked at Mercy, who has paused and is, panting, has a couple arrows sticking out of her back and her chest. But she's, still standing, right? And it's, holding her greatsword. It has deflected a few of the arrows with the flat blade of her sword, right? And it's, standing there and it's, bleeding a little. And this person that Mercy had referred to as Selim and Lieutenant Shy says, one-on-one duel to the death.
It's very dramatic and...
Lolly, it's fine. Okay. We'll do it then. And Mercy sort of
sure about this, Mercy?
It's Jerron, it's fine. It's okay. I know Selim. I know Lieutenant Shy. She won't actually kill me. It's okay. What are you whispering about? As Selim is sort of swapping out her bow for a bigger one. And with new kinds of arrows, right? She's sort of she's got quivers and bows and weapons strapped to the body of her horse, right? And is very expertly exchanging it out, it's second nature. Nothing at all. I accept the terms of the duel, and because of that, no one can intervene. Okay? Listen, Hounds, this is just... I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
That list that I kept asking for. This is why, Mercy. This is why. Good fucking luck, and I'm gonna clap her on the arm and
no,
give
the
her
arrows, careful.
Give her a second level cure wounds.
Okay, so roll to restore her health.
Yeah, hold on. Where's the... what is it at second level? 2d8. Where did I had a d8. I swear I know how to play this game. That's a 10. That's a 12. That's too big. There we go. 8. 7. 7 and 8 is 15. Plus... plus... 5, so 20.
Okay, that's great. I think what happens is she rips out some of the arrows as you're placing your hands on her, and the wounds suture themselves back up, leaving bloodied holes in the leather of her armor. But the skin behind the holes are smooth as they patch themselves back up. Thanks, Solali. Hey, Lieutenant Shy, don't you think it's a little unfair for you to be mounted while I'm on foot? Shouldn't the playing ground be a little bit more even here? It's your fault you don't have a mount, Mercy. Besides, even if you did, it'd be pathetic. I'd ride circles around you. Also, it's Captain Shy now. Captain Shy! My bad, my apologies. Looks like Toktoa Agon saw fit to promote you. Kagan! Toktoa Kagan. And yes, she did, with a personal commendation and ceremony, if you must know. Ah, if I must know, huh? Congratulations, Selim. Seems like you're on the up and up, everything you always wanted. Shut up. Face me. You, step away from her. There is to be no aid given during this battle, you understand?
Totally.
It's fine, Sitlali. I can take care of myself.
If you live and don't make me your second, you're going to regret it.
It'll be my dying words, I promise. Jerron, Gentle, how are the two of you responding to all of this? Because I want to know.
I think Jerron is just has resheathed their rapier, just a big sigh, shaking their head, looking at all of this. And I think, honestly, if we're being perfectly frank here, I think they see a little of themselves in Oka in this scenario, and they're just kind of like reflecting, like, am I like this?
Do you see a little bit of yourself in Mercy or the other woman, or because you said Oka?
Yes. So I see
okay.
I see a little bit of me and Oka in this scenario.
Oh, got it. I misheard
Yes.
you. I thought you said a little bit of you in Oka. Okay, never mind.
Oh no, sorry, and
Cool.
Oka.
You're good. All right. Yeah, so John, you sheath your rapier and you're just like, okay, all right. Maybe like reevaluating your own choices a little bit too as you look at this. What about you, Gentle?
I'm gonna take inventory of the things that we have and maybe got broken, and I'm just gonna sort of let this play out. I think I just sigh and just start just writing down everything that's broken.
Okay. You're just like sighing to yourself and taking inventory, but maybe also keeping an eye on the fight. And I think the two women start to circle each other. Captain Shy, like knocks 3 arrows on like her new longbow and like brings her horse a little farther out away from Mercy, like out of range of Mercy's greatsword. And Mercy's like, really? Gonna fight like a coward here, huh, Shy? I see how it is. Not to worry. I can always face you down. Remember the last time we dueled? I kicked your ass. It's been years since we last dueled, Mercy. And you'll come to see that I've learned a few things. And with that, Stop it, Dare! Stop it with the air quotes around dueled! You dirty gremlin! Because I'm there with you. Captain Shy lets 3 of the arrows loose, and Mercy is gonna like use her greatsword in a flash to deflect 2 of them, but one nicks her in the shoulder. That's all you got? Come on, come at me. Aren't you supposed to be Captain Shy? Show me you deserve that captain title. Why, I don't have to prove myself to you. She knocks 3 more arrows and poof, poof, poof. It's like firing them one after the other, and the battle joins in earnest. Mercy deflects arrows as, Captain Shy shoots them. Mercy keeps trying to close the gap, but Selim's on a horse, so she can very easily just sort of back out of range and shoot and back out of range and shoot. And it's sort of like the arrows don't do too much damage, right? And like one swing from that blade of Mercy's could probably really fuck up Selim's day, but Selim's way too dexterous. She's just weaving out of the way, getting close enough to fire an arrow, and then weaving out of the way again and firing an arrow. And it's like Mercy trying to hit her, getting closer, but then like she'll spin out of the way on her horse. And it's just like, it seems to be stalemated. Like after a couple of moments, Mercy's deflecting, and like parrying and swinging, and Selim's running back, and the horse starts sweating, kind of. Like you see like white foam starting to form on like the horse's flank as the horse starts to get tired before the women do. You see the horse starting to struggle along as like Selim's twisting and turning it this way and that way. Would anyone like to do anything during this stage of the fight or say anything?
I'm just gonna call out, this doesn't seem productive, and I think you should either get a room or kill each other, so pick one.
Does it look like either one is winning?
No. It seems like this could go on for a while.
Mercy, you said we had urgent business. You said no stops, no diverting from the plan. This feels like a diversion from the plan.
I think a battle to the death can be an exception. And she like an arrow pings off of her sword and thwacks into like the ground next to you, Juron.
Why are your lovers always the exception?
And listen, this is one lover I didn't ask for. And Selim interrupts it and says, lover? Lover? That's all I was to you? Just a lover? And she knocks like another arrow and poof, lets it loose and it pings off of Mercy's blade.
Is it dumb to try to sleight of hand or just actively take these from both of them like children? Is it dumb? Yes. Do I want to? Absolutely. Are
you trying to disarm both of them?
I think I'm gonna. I'm probably gonna disarm Selim just because the
Okay.
horse makes it easier as a weird thing to have to worry about.
So are you gonna stunning strike the horse? Is
I'm
that
not gonna stunning strike the horse. I think I'm just gonna try to do like a quick acrobatics, like essentially pommel a literal horse and snag it and just kind of keep it moving for a second.
Oh, so you're gonna grapple the horse and not
I'm
try to
gonna-
grab. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off of the horse or like sort of use the horse to get like some momentum, like literally pommel horse off of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it just like snatch it out of her hands. So
The
like,
bow.
yeah, she feels
Uh-huh.
like the reasonable one to stop.
Okay. That's going to be a check. Gentle.
All right.
So why don't you
Acrobatics?
first make acrobatics to see if you can even get up there in the middle of the moving horse? And if it's successful, you get to roll sleight of hand.
Let's see if a 24 would do it.
That would do it. So describe to what it looks like as you start to flip toward that horse.
I think I like run at it full force. I think Gentle has a vertical leap enough to get straight up on the horse, and it is essentially me looking of like, sorry, maybe this will help you calm down. And as I'm reaching out, I'm just going to like shoot myself off, and hopefully
Okay,
that force will just
She goes, What the? In the split second that you land on the haunches of her horse, roll sleight of hand.
Oh no, that's the one I'm worried about. All right, 18.
18, that's sufficient. You snatch the bow out of her hands and you jump off, right? And now she's unarmed. You hop off the horse right as the horse like bucks its like hind legs to sort of like get you off as well, but she stays attached, right? She's very used to this horse bucking. The horse bucks / you jump off of it and you land with like her bow and the arrow that was knocked in it, right? Like in your hands. And Mercy says, Gentle, you're not supposed to. Thank you.
Can we talk like adults now, please? This is a lot.
Talk like adults. Talk like adults. Is that what this is about, Mercy? You think what? You think 27 is too young for you? And Selim is going to jump off of the horse, drawing a scimitar as she does, and like face Mercy like mano a mano on the ground. Selim, don't make me do this. I know you're a fantastic horseback fighter, but I destroy you. So what? I don't even care anymore. You! And Selim rushes forward and like one-handing her sword. And Mercy is not really fighting back here. She's just sort of parrying and deflecting and like taking steps back. You broke my heart! And she smashes the scimitar so hard against the flat of Mercy's blade that boing, 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 like a ringing noise like emanates out from it.
I think at this point, Jerron is going to try and get in between them somehow without getting hit, which is going to be a little difficult, I think.
Okay.
But I think they're going to try and just kind of like get in between them because I think they recognize that Mercy's probably right, that if this person is used to fighting on horseback, they're probably not a match for Mercy on the ground. And like realistically, Jerron doesn't want to see this person, like doesn't want to see Selim actually die. So they're gonna try to get in between and just like looking at I think like back to Mercy looking towards Selim is just gonna say, enough. We have a mission, a very important one that we need to get to. And if you let us, we're just trying to pass through.
A mission, huh? What is this mission, Mercy? What is it if it's important enough? You know what? Yeah, I'll let you go. So what's this mission that's so important for you to cut through my turf? To get through, Mercy. Morose is right there. Selim, look, I'm sorry. Time is of the essence. Jerron is right. We're looking for... And Mercy looks at you, Sitlali, to step up and, like, quickly come up with a lie.
Naturally. Sitlali will step forward and just go, we have a lead on the cause of the Cataclysm, and we're here to kill it.
What? Wait. Mercy, wait. And
Difficult
Selim
to
actually...
explain. Cleric
when
things.
Totally. Selim, like...
And I hold up my holy symbol, which is, I think, any person can recognize it's of the Raven Queen.
For sure. Like the skull, right?
Yeah. And I think it might, if you'll let me, I think it, using thaumaturgy, like it glows like a little bit. Yeah.
You. Wait, the cause of the cataclysm and you, that's a symbol of the Raven Queen.
Mm-hmm.
How can it still, if you're a cleric, how do you still have your powers?
It's complicated.
It is complicated, and it's why Sidlali is on my team. The Sidlali, Gentle, and Jiran are the best members of the Hounds, and it's very important that the four of us make it out of Kirtal alive, so we can try to reverse the cataclysm.
Restore the 8.
Yes, restore the 8, reverse the cataclysm, mend the damage that's been done. So you're telling me that you, cold-hearted Mercy, are trying to save the world because you found these new family members that you now treat as dear loved ones? And that has changed your heart? I don't know where you're getting all that from, Selim, but...
Yes.
Yes. And there's like a silence. And then Selim throws her horns back and laughs. Like such a derisive, like... She heard the funniest, saddest joke in the world and just laughs it out. And like her laugh like rings across the darkness in this open field. And she like slaps her knee. She's like, hold on. She like is like holding her scimitar in one hand, slapping her knee. And when she's finally done, she sheaths her scimitar and looks up at Mercy and says, I don't buy that one bit. But what I can tell is that the four of you are desperate to get a move on. You, Mercy, this duel isn't over. But Andake comes first. That's what Toktoa Kagan would do. But before I let you go, you, and she's pointing to Sitlali, Gento, and Jiran. Tell me everything you know about the Cataclysm. What's the cause? What's the source? I have to know, so Toktoa Kagan can know.
We don't know what exactly caused it. That's part of the mission, is trying to figure it out. We just know that there are weird, empty monsters that are plaguing these lands now. And actually, if you don't already know this, have you come across any of these monsters before?
Yes, we've slain a great many, roaming the fields like dark aberrations come to life.
About that. Maybe when you kill them, look inside them first. And if you find a weird flesh-looking sack, take that out and don't open it.
The sacks. So they do mean something. It's part of our customs to use every part of the prey we hunt. The hide for tents, the fur for clothes, the horns for weapons and bows. But these creatures have little to no value. Their bodies can't be used after we kill them. I don't know, it's like they're made of dark magic, whatever it is, void magic. Souls. That's right,
When you
souls.
open the bags, they die.
So that's what that feeling was, the weave snapping all around us. Great 8, what has Andake come to? Thank you for telling me. I'll make sure to carry this information back to Toktoa Kagan. She must know. And this source of the Cataclysm, does it have anything to do with paragons at all?
Why?
Nothing, no reason. It's just... And she starts like pacing around, right? As like her riders still stand on the periphery of the tent watching silently, right? It's just, when was the last time in Andake's history that something like this has happened? Not since the Great War, 700 years ago. And before that, not since the Gambit of Queens, a myriad ago. If these mythic heroes, these paragons, were real, and if they were to actually rise up again, now would be the time, don't you think? And what's more than that, there are whispers. Whispers that Toktoa Kagan is the paragon of Galtanger. She's divinely appointed by our god to rescue us from this. So whatever you know about the Cataclysm, please, you must tell me.
How do you know that this person is a paragon?
Well, have you met her? She's
I
a
can't
living
say I've had the
legend.
pleasure.
On horseback, she can thread an arrow through the eye of a needle from 200 meters apace. If that's not paragon-like behavior, I don't know what is. She's trying to unite the clans. If that's not a paragon's duty, tell me what is.
Is that how we find a paragon? How we recognize one?
I don't know about you, but these children's stories... It's not just children's stories anymore, Mercy. Wake up! Look around you. You're living in a myth. This is what legends are made of. The stars being gone, the gods leaving us. If there's any time for a crucible to test our mettle and have heroes rise, now is the time. Selim, you've always been so romantic. These flights of fancy. Being romantic isn't a bad thing, Mercy. Gives you something to live for. Beyond just fucking and trucking your way around Andake. Hounds sidebar, please, if this duel is adjourned. For now, only because you bear news that Toktoa Kagan might be interested in. Stand down, she says to the other soldiers who like lower their bows. This entire time we're still trained on Mercy. They lower it and they like relax their bowstrings. Hounds?
I think before Jiran goes to Mercy, they'll just kind of like lean into Selim and just kind of whisper, "We'll bring her back to you for the duel after this is all over."
Good. I'm expecting it. Then we'll finally settle this feud. The way she treated me Anyway. And I think the three of you, like, huddle off to a side of your, like, destroyed, trampled, ruined campsite, away from, like, Selim's ears and eyes. And Mercy huddles in and says, "Listen, what if she's telling the truth? What if Toktoa Kagan is, I don't know, a goddamn paragon?"
I don't know that that's enough to go on. Just because somebody is a good political leader and a good hunter, that seems not enough.
If she is a
It's true.
paragon, what the fuck are we supposed to do about it?
I don't know, share information about Sens? This thing, this
No.
compass.
Do we want more people looking for Sen's paragon? Because
No,
I don't know.
I don't think we do. Something tells me that if the wrong people found out about the paragons being real, and that we had a way to locate one, it could go very badly for us.
Good point. I don't know anything anymore. This God's damned 8 damned cataclysm. as she like mutters something in Talmudi under her breath, and then turns to you, Gentle. What do you think?
I don't dis with maybe keeping this a bit closer to the chest, but also maybe knowing that like sharing enough information isn't necessarily bad, because at least she'll be on our good side, and maybe she can help us get more equipment since ours is broken now.
Also, just a question. What did Mercy mutter under her breath? Because I do speak Talmudi.
Oh, yeah, that's true. She muttered under her breath. Look at this mess you've left us in Oka.
Just gonna store that in my brain for later.
Jiran will remember this, flashes on the screen. Mercy says, okay, fine. It seems like the consensus here is don't tell them more than they have to know, but I'll give her something vague enough to get her off our fucking backs, okay? Because Selim is... Listen, Hounds, this is really embarrassing. A number of years ago, I was involved with Selim. It was a disgusting whirlwind of just... You don't have to know the details. Yes, Gentle.
Have you said sorry?
Why would I say sorry? She's the one who got all clingy on me. We made it very clear this was just sex, nothing else. And she had to go ahead and...
Maybe try saying sorry and she won't try to kill you. Also, I could have caught some of those for you, but maybe you needed that. Anyway.
I was noticing, but, you were just obeying the rules of the duel. No intervention, right? Something that you broke after snatching the bow from her hands. I'm surprised she didn't sock you in the face. I guess she was just so mad.
It. I should give that back at some point.
You should give it back. Yes, you should. Okay, fine. Any final feelings before I break the news to Selim? Okay, it's damned. Selim, yes, there is something we haven't told you yet. The thing that could help Toktoa Kagan is... The Paragons are real. They're coming back. But we don't know who they are, we don't know how to find them, and we don't know how they're made, if they're made at all, or if they're just born that way, okay? But take that back to the Kagan. Tell her that Paragons are real, they walk among us, and if she's one, then I guess she should just know, right? Seems like an innate thing, an intuitive thing. Okay. Yeah. I will tell her that. Okay. And maybe after this I won't just be captain, I'll be a commander. You and your ambitions. Fine. We upheld our end of the bargain. Let us go. And not just that, the information we gave you, Selim, no one else on Andake knows. Alright, I think that deserves some provisions. I mean, that herd you were chasing did trample over all of our things. What do you say? Fine. But your little quest, wherever you're headed, is going to have to wait another night. I'll send a missive. I'll get some provisions here, but you'll have to camp here for the rest of the night. Another day. Don't leave in the morning. You'll have to wait for my herd to get here. To wait for reinforcements to arrive. Fine by me. I think we can spare one day. What do you think, Hound?
I think a rest would be nice.
I agree.
Okay. Fine. We'll stay here for one more day until the next nightfall. But that's it. Fine. Then we'll pitch our tents here too. And she starts barking orders in Kyrian, as her soldiers start to dismount and pitch their own tents. Great. It's fine. Only because I allow it. This is my campsite after all. I'm the leader here. Hounds, let's fix these tents and try to sleep the rest of the night off.
I give Salim her bow back.
Thank you. That thing you did on the back of Botoy? Nicely done. You can make a fine rider. Do you ride?
No, I'm more of a water hunter than a like game hunter.
If and when your pup gets big enough, perhaps you can ride them.
I look at Bud. I'm just like, maybe. Um, can you help? Help us build some of these tents. Actually, they got really broken, and I appreciate some assistance. Don't tell Mercy.
Fine, I will. Only because, again, of that invaluable information you gave us, I can't believe I'm privy to this slice of knowledge that no one else on Andake knows. That commander title is getting closer and closer. And she barks orders in Kyrian again to her soldiers they have like extra tents and extra bedrolls. And all in all, there's just enough for individual tents for all but one. So 2 people are gonna have to shack up in the same tent that's been erected. And Mercy just sort of like looks at Selim, who looks back at her. Then these 2 women, like they're like bristling with this like tension, and they both look at the one tent that's supposed to be the communal tent. Is anyone gonna like intervene?
I think Duran will. I think this is a recipe for disaster. Duran can see it coming a mile away. So they're just gonna kind of step up and just I can take this tent.
Fine. Mercy, sleeping with your subordinates again, I see. It's not
No,
like that. Ew.
I'll join you, Sharon.
Okay,
I'm okay with that.
fine. Jiran, Sitlali,
Just
you
snore
have this
anyway.
tent. Excuse me?
You
Whatever.
snore really loudly.
It's a sign of a good deep sleep. Something you could use more of. I see those eye bags. She does snore. It's annoying. Hey!
Thank you.
Fine. Then I'll sleep in my tent over here, and you'll sleep in your tent over there, and we just won't talk until the morning. Provisions will come, and then we'll say goodbye. And I'll never see your face in Kirtal again. Ever. Fine. 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 Fine.
Does anyone want tea?
I think like this entire time. Yeah. Mercy and Selim have been getting closer and closer as they've been saying like fine to each other, and gentle you pipe up and they they turn around and they walk away to their own tents.
If it's possible at all, and we don't need to like play this out, but I just want to say, if it's possible at all, I think Jaron would try to get in a conversation with Selim at some point during the night in order to just get dirt on Mercy. Just like some stories, maybe some stuff, some embarrassing things that we can use later.
That's so funny. Yeah, I think you find Selim like putting the finishing touches on pitching her own tent. I think actually she's like leashing her horses, like setting her horses out to graze in like a nearby snow. She's like helping situate the horses. You approach her. She turns and says, "Oh, it's you. What do you want?"
I noticed that you have some difficulties with Mercy.
That's an understatement if I ever heard one. Can I help you?
Well, I mean, we in the Hounds, I'm sure it comes to no surprise to you, sometimes have difficulties of our own. And I'm sure you understand it would be kind of fun to hear about what is Mercy like when she's not Mercy, you know? Like, what does she do for fun?
Well, she's an asshole. I assume that's still true no matter where she is. But she... and Selim's face kind of almost like softens a little as she's like I think brushing down her horse. She's like grooming it. But she can be... I don't know. She can be tender, too, in a really disarming way. Like she's this big owl bear, but there's like something soft inside. But she's so fucked up, Jiran. She's... that woman is toxic poison. Okay?
Those are a lot of complicated feelings that you have towards her, aren't they?
I just feel like I can fix her.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a great idea. Look, as somebody who spends a lot of time with Mercy, I think that's a bigger project than you should maybe take
But
on.
I've grown. It's been 3 years since we've been together. I've become a better person. Surely she's become more mature and a better person, I mean, at her age.
You might have grown, but I don't know that Mercy has really. I think she has a lot of reflection to do, a lot of own work that she should do on herself before she can be ready for this, I think.
Okay. I don't know, just seeing her again is like, it's like I'm 27 again, and it just brings back all these feelings, and the way we left things was so painful, and she never apologized. I thought I meant something to her. I thought what we had was real. But I guess not.
I'm sure it was real. In its own
Did you
way.
hear her? She just called me a lover. Don't think I didn't overhear a little bit of your conversation, too. The way she talks about me like I'm some petulant child. I'm a grown woman.
I think Mercy just has difficulty saying what she really means.
She really does. I swear, that woman is a lit fuse, and one day she's going to explode.
And that is exactly why you cannot fix her.
I have to finish grooming my horses, if you don't mind.
No. But I should say, from one hunter to another, you could teach me a thing or two about your crossbow, was it? Skills?
I don't know how much I could teach in the span of just a night. But how good is your aim? And I think we could pan away from that, shot to the rest of the party. Sit loudly gentle to sort of round out the session, right? Before provisions arrive and we have this final rest before we break for the episode. What would the two of you like to do?
Oh,
No, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you for helping stand up for me against Mercy.
Oh, me, you're talking to me. Oh, that's in character. What do you I didn't do anything. Really?
I mean, you were willing to still stand up and stop it before it was gonna happen, because if I can be incredibly honest, I was gonna hit Mercy.
I know.
Why did you stop it?
I don't know. Seemed like it was counterproductive to the mission for us to fight each other. Hostile work environment is not ideal.
Forgive me for this, but you seem to normally enjoy a little hostility in the work environment.
Yes, when I'm causing it.
Are you wearing a mask right now?
Probably. But again, what does it matter?
Okay. Either way, thank you. And you're really good at this, and I think you should be Mercy's second in command. I think you're the only one who really wants it anyway.
They just kind of pat you on the shoulder and walk past you and try to go track down Mercy.
Okay, we're gonna swing the focus to another part of camp where Mercy is, I think, putting the stake in one of the new tents that the other soldiers just had on hand with them, and she's like putting it in. And as you approach without even turning around, like, you know, her forearm, the muscle of her forearm flexing as she bangs this hammer in. What do you want, Sitlali? You're to chastise me about yet another ex?
You made me a promise.
And what would that be?
That I'd be your second if you didn't die.
I seem to recall the sequence of events a little differently.
You typically do.
I'm not ready to name a second yet. You're doing well, Sitlali. You're the
How
front
long's
runner.
it been?
What?
How long has it been since Oka left you?
I don't see how that has anything to do with this conversation.
How have you been doing since Oka left you? Who do you confide in since Oka left you?
We're not doing the group hug thing again, Sitlali. The moment's over. Stop trying to force it.
I'm not trying to force a group hug. I will punch you if I need to.
What, like a mosquito biting the side of an elephant? I'd like to see you try.
Would you really?
Oka's been gone. Oka's been gone a long enough time, okay? I have a feeling they might have even been gone longer than that while they were still here, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
One foot out the fucking door. Classic. I thought they were different. I thought they thought I was... But it doesn't matter now. Because they're gone, and again, like I keep saying, I feel like a broken image. They're not coming back.
And you're probably right. I don't think they are. And you're the one who keeps saying we should move on, right?
Yeah. So let's move on. Stop bringing it up. I've moved on, have you?
If you've moved on, then you would have named a new second by now.
Is that what this is about, Sitlali? You think you can psychoanalyze me from your comfortable little spot in the distance? I know what this is. You're just ambitious. You want second, and you don't even really care about Oka. Because you don't even really care about anything, do you? Where are you getting your fucking magic from?
An emissary of the Raven Queen.
What? How's that possible? Where are they?
I just
Where
put a
do
hand
they-
on my chest.
Sitlali? Sitlali, what have you done?
What I had to.
What is it? What did it want from you? What did you give it?
It needs a place to live.
Is that why all your spells have felt wrong? Grasping, like a vacuum?
They still work, don't they?
Sitlali, you told me you had this under control, that your magic was... You call this non-volatile?
It still works. I can still heal people. And that's what you need me for, right? That and talking your way out of problems that you caused, that I had nothing to do with.
Go to bed, Sitlali. We're done here.
Don't fucking tell me what to do.
We'll talk more about the second thing in the morning, after we get our equipment repaired.
I did what I had to.
If and when I do name a second, because I will, Sitlali, because fuck you, I'm over Oka. This isn't about me not being over them. If and when I do that, whoever the second is going to be will never be able to replace Oka. And I just hope
So
they
I
know that.
I keep hearing from everyone. And leave.
Okay. Mercy hesitates with her back turned to you. And like the warmth of like the campfire talk of like the big hug you all shared at the end of that scene feels so far away, right? Like all of the little bit of progress you all made as a group has just sort of like two steps forward, 3 steps back situation as Mercy like turns her shoulders towards you, like squares it and keeps like driving that stake into the ground. And Sitlali, you go to the tent where you see Jiran already inside. The communal tent that the two of you are supposed to share for that night. Sitlali, you enter the tent with your mind swirling with these comparisons to Oka, of like never being able to replace them, right? And Jiran, you're sat there as well. Why don't you tell me what's on your mind as Sitlali comes in?
I think Jiran is just kind of reflecting on, because he came back here after having spoken to Selim about Mercy and their relationship and how Selim has been so hurt in the process and thought, that it meant something more than it clearly did to Mercy. And I think that all of that is kind of in Jiran's head right now. And they're kind of having their own doubts about it, like, if Oka is alive, why haven't I heard from them yet? Where they know how to find me. They know that I'm still with the Hounds, presumably. I should have received a letter by now, right? So if they're alive, then they're choosing not to find me. Analia left immediately. The Cataclysm happened and Analia went straight back to their lover in Nabal. And I wish Oka had done the same.
Inspiration for that. You know what? Inspiration for all of you, because this has just been a lot. So I want to put some salve on the burns. Okay. Jiran, you're thinking about Oka. You're thinking about being abandoned by them. This feeling of yearning for someone that you feel like maybe, gods, maybe they're not choosing you back here. And then Sitlali enters, right? And the tent flap sort of like goes slack as we like pull out of this tent as Sitlali comes in, this changeling. We're gonna pull out of this tent area and like sort of widen the scope onto the entire campsite. Gentle, where do we find you? What are you doing as you're winding down for the night?
I'm probably near the edge of the camp, per usual. Hanging out with Bud, making some tea, and just, I think more than I have so far, especially because no one's nearby, I just look really worn down and really tired.
I like that. As we pull out of this campsite, we see Bud like snuggle up to you, and Bud's really cute, wolf puppy has been like sort of like cheering you up this entire time, like rests like their little front paws on your chest and like rests the bottom of their jaw like against your heart, sort of like looks up at you and whines a little bit, seems to be able to tell that you are having a lot of feelings right now and is offering as much support as this wolf puppy can. Snuggled up against you. In a lot of ways, you're alone, Gentle, and so is this pup. But at least, this pup has you. Pull out of this campsite, we see Mercy finally like putting the tent together as she goes into her tent, right? And like the light inside like turns off as like the lights inside tent start to turn off as people start to go to bed. We see like the light in Mercy's tent turn off, like Gentle continues like drinking tea, nursing it on the edge of the tent. The other soldiers' lights turn off inside their tents, but like a soldier like stays up to sort of like take first watch, maybe alongside Gentle. And we see one of the final lights to turn off is the light of Jiran and Sitlali's tent. We see their forms silhouetted against the tent and poof, like it goes dark. And then we pan over to Selim's tent, which turns dark. And then in the darkness, under the cover of night, not seen by anyone, Selim sneaks out of her tent and slips into Mercy's. We're gonna end the session
We
there.
talked about this. We talked about this.
I think we're gonna end the session there with like this, right? The night brimming. Like the next day is probably gonna be where we pick up our next session. But until then, thank you everyone so much for tuning in to episode 2 of the Hounds of Mercy versus Andake. I have been your GM, Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. Follow me on Twitter, Itch, and Patreon at by Connie Chong up here. BYCONNIECHANG. I'm gonna pass along introductions to Quinn.
I am Quinn. I have been your Sidlali for the evening, regrettably. My pronouns are they, she. Twitter is the place that you find me. Words at Quintastic _. I make games. Please buy them. They're quite good, I think, anyway. I am a sensitivity reader. I'm in other shows. Twitter, yeah. Go Hamna.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name's Hamana. I use any and all pronouns. Today, I've been Jaron Qadr, who is making very good decisions, processing things really well. Very healthy role model. None of that is true. I'm a TTRPG performer, and you can find me on Twitter at hshahid_, where I talk about all of the different projects that I'm a part of. The one that's currently ongoing, other than the Hounds of Mercy, is the Cursed Captains of Cthulhu stream that is currently on the Follow Black Cats channel here on Twitch, Mondays, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And there I play also someone making very bad decisions as well, but now I have a hot Eldritch pirate girlfriend in that stream who I can make bad decisions with, so it's all worth it, and you should definitely come watch. I'm gonna pass it on to Dare.
Stones from glass houses, Hamna. Stones from glass houses.
Hi, I'm Dare. If you like watching me make face journeys throughout the entirety of everybody around me's bad decisions, you can check me out on Twitter and TikTok at NBDare. That is ENBYDARE. I do a ton of stuff around the internet. I am a dice affiliate with Die Hard Dice, so use the promo code NBDare at Die Hard if you want 10% off some nice dice like this one right here that's helped me pretty well today. grindingcoffee.co if you like coffee, especially ones that are LGBT, queer-owned, and Black businesses. I'd recommend going to grindingcoffee.co. Use the promo code Forest for 10% off as well. I helped edit and write a book called The Wild Beyond Witchlight Attractions and Adventures. It is a carnival. It is a Fae carnival based on the newest D&D book that is coming out. So please check that out. I did a lot of the editing and a lot of the writing, and did some of the writing. It's really good. Lots of really cool people were involved. And yeah, catch me on the Ephemeral Forest Thursday for the last interstitial game. Very Kingdom Heartsy. And Saturday, keep an eye out for some mass stream that I may be doing a full mass campaign. So check that out. I'm done.
Hey, so that's been everyone. Just as a reminder, tune in again for episode 3 of the Hounds of Mercy versus Andake next Tuesday, September 28th at 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time, because these disaster queers must be witnessed. Just look at this shit. Look at this shit. Is the wolf puppy the most emotionally stable character in this game? They might be. So with that, we're not going to do a main campaign stream for Transplanar RPG this weekend, this Saturday. So take a break this Saturday. Do something else. Tune into that Masks campaign that Dare's got going on, etc., etc. Live your life. But we will be back Saturday, October 2nd with C rejoining us after their live theater residency somewhere up in Wisconsin that will remain unnamed right now. So join us at on Saturday, October 2nd at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time for Arc 4, Episode 3 of our main campaign, and continue to tune in Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. for the Hounds of Mercy. We love you all so much. We're going to raid someone now. Really cool person, so use the raid message in their channel. We're going to raid Diana Super Dylan, who's also playing tabletop RPGs with an awesome crew right now. They're so great. So toss them a follow, say hi in chat, even if you can't stick around, say that Transplanar brought you, use the raid message. We love you so much. Shpeesh.